Hello everybody and welcome back to Adventure with Dave and Becky. Today's video we're going to be looking at some of the frequently asked questions we get. So,
when are you going? That's one of the questions we're probably asked the most. When are you going? Why don't you have a fixed date yet when you're going to be leaving? At the moment we're planning for the end of November, which would give us a bit of time to get settled in before Christmas and just to get used to life in Uganda before that time. So that's the aim at the moment, but there are a few things that we're waiting on to make sure that we can get out for that time. So we've just started the application process for Dave's work permit for the visas that we need to get into Uganda. That can take a variable amount of time, so we're waiting to hear about the progress of that. And also we need to raise the support to send us to Uganda. That all needs to be in place before we leave. So it's a reasonable amount of money that we need to raise before we can go. We're at about the 40% mark at the moment, which is wonderful, and that's made up from regular and one-off donations. But obviously there's still quite a way to go. We've been speaking at some churches and local events, and a lot of people have expressed a wish to partner with us, but we still need quite a few people, so if you would like to join in the adventure in that way, then there's more details just below the video.
where will you be living? Quite a few people ask us this. I think there are lots of people convinced we're going to be living in a mud hut. I'm pleased to say that's not the case in Uganda. It's described as a Western style, but not Western standards. The examples we had out there were, if you imagine like a 2 or 3 bedroom bungalow, usually inside its own little self-contained compound with a small garden. There can be some apartments. The actual location will be Kampala. We'll be living in one of the districts on the hills called Becky.
What will you be doing? When we get to Uganda, Dave will be working with MAF as an avionics engineer, so he'll be working to keep the light aircraft flying and pointing in the right direction with all those avionic gadgets that you find in planes. Yes. As for me, my role is a bit more to be determined when we get there, so I'm hoping to work a bit with the communications team of MAF to report back on some of the work, the amazing work that MAF is doing in Uganda and maybe some of the surrounding countries as well. But also there are just some fantastic projects that I'm already hearing about before we're even there that I know that I could get involved in. Why are you doing this? That's another question we get asked quite a lot, sometimes with a bit of a funny expression, you know, why on earth are you going to Africa and selling everything you own and going, you know, somewhere you don't know anyone and to a completely different culture? Well, I think the main reason that we're going is because it's what we believe that God wants us to be doing, and throughout our whole lives we felt that God has been directing our steps to this point. We actually have just recorded a couple of other new videos that describe our stories and how we got to where we are right now, so go and check those out. The links will be below and you can find out more about why we're doing what we're doing in those videos. Well, thank you for watching and joining with us in our adventure. We hope we've answered some of the common questions that you might have, but if you have any additional questions, please do leave them in the comments below and we'll record another video with other commonly asked questions. So no matter how obscure or how strange, feel free to ask whatever questions you have about this adventure.